Hey guys, I'm here with my uncle Larry.
Hey guys.
He is a psychologist.
No, I'm actually a social worker,
Social
but
worker.
my primary job is a psychotherapist. So I work with people every day to help them improve themselves, look at their thinking patterns, things like that.
And I know one of your big passions is emotional intelligence. Is that right?
That is a huge passion of mine. You know what the thing is with emotional intelligence is it is really the cornerstone of everything we do, whether it's athletics, schooling, relationships, and I think it implies or applies to trading too.
Yeah, big time. For me personally, I've noticed that so many traders can't get over that hump of profitability if they're not able to control their emotions.
So that's one of the big things that I'm really glad Jack is willing to talk to me today, because at 22 years old, Jack has been phenomenally successful trading. And this is something that 90% of traders never get to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and just tell us how you did this.
Yeah, so what you're saying about 90% of traders that don't do it, there was actually a study done a few days ago by one of my friends who reached out to a brokerage account, and it was like 10% of 25,000 people at this brokerage firm were actually making money. So about 2,500 people.
Wow.
And then they went as far as
Wow.
they kept digging and digging and digging, and then it was like half of that 10% actually make a little bit more than a few dollars. Like it's kind of like 5% break even, like just a little bit green, and then like the other 5% is between that 0 and 6 figure mark. And then actually it was only about 100 people that were making over 6 figures consistently a year.
Out of 25,000?
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow.
And then they took it a step further, and there was only about 10 people who were making millions of dollars doing this. And then out of those 10 people, there was only a few people that were doing it consistently and not losing the money that they made.
So I got an interesting statistic for you. I heard that if you ask those 25,000 people how they rate themselves as traders, 90% are going to say they're above average.
Yeah.
So how does that work out? You got literally 10 who are really making the money, and not even 10%, 10 traders.
10 traders.
And yet 90% of them would rate themselves as better than average.
Yeah, I think that's a huge red flag, and always the people that I see that have big egos when they're trading and who are always tooting their own horn, especially before they even have made anything. You see a lot of traders talking with nothing to back them up. And that is a huge red flag. And I think it's very detrimental to a lot of traders out there who are very egotistical about, oh, I'm making money, I'm a really good trader, this and that. And the truth is if they're saying that, they probably aren't, especially if they have nothing to back themselves up.
So what do you think is driving that belief system in them?
Something to do with the human emotion. As humans, we like to be good at everything. We like to, especially as men, we like to do things that are significant. We like significant things. We like all that. And we want to be good at something that, one, it makes you a lot of money if you are good at trading. And also it's very, very hard, so we want to naturally be good at it since it's such a big challenge.
So one of the things that really intrigued me was following you on Twitter and seeing the haters, right? So, I know that Jack actually did what he claims he did. And I know it drives some people nuts because you did this at 22 years old, right? So what I hear people saying, a lot of people are very positive, but there are those people who are like, he must be lying. And the belief, I think, is that if he could have done it, why aren't I? And that is what we want to get to. What is it with emotional intelligence that can help you be more like Jack and the other 10%? All right. So we know that it's not just emotional intelligence. Talk a little bit about Tim Sykes. That's where you got your foundation, right?
Yeah, Tim Sykes says all the time what he basically is training wheels on a bicycle. And without any information, it's very hard to jump in the market and hear a few picks from relatives, friends, something like that, and just buying it and hoping for the best. And the thing is, that's what a lot of people do. They try to just buy something and hope that it goes up. And without that training wheels, you're just going to fall right over. You're going to try to pedal and fall right over. You need to learn kind of how to go and pedal a little bit with some help from someone who's been in the game for a couple decades. And Tim has been doing it for a couple decades. And that's why I chose to invest in myself and invest in my education before just jumping right in with a few hot stock picks, because I knew I wanted to take this far.
So what was it called? The Tim Sykes Challenge is what you started with?
Yeah, so I jumped into the Tim Sykes Challenge, and at the first like couple weeks I was a little hesitant after watching a few YouTube videos, but then what sold me was I watched a livestock ETRM at the beginning of January 2017. It ran from $2 to $20 in a few days, and I saw a few people in the Tim Sykes realm on Twitter and in his chat room talking about it and how they were buying it. And I was like, oh, like I'll keep an eye on it and see how it does. And then I watched it go from 2 to 20, then I watched it go from 20, and then I watched it tank back down. And I saw that human emotion hype with a lot of these penny stocks, and then I saw it crash as Tim Sykes taught, and I was like, wow, like I just saw one live, like I'm sold. And after that, I got involved with studying that entire year and learning from Tim Sykes and getting my training wheels.
That's awesome. So one of the things that Jack had told me was, yes, he got the foundation from Tim, but you had actually said you kind of trade based on human emotion. And you said you follow the trends of the human emotion, right? So EI, or emotional intelligence, is about being able to recognize what we're feeling, which is something guys don't do well. Guys tend to feel like a couple things. We feel happy, we feel angry, maybe a little sad. We don't like a lot of those other feelings. We don't like anxiety. We don't like scared. We don't like anything that is a sign of weakness. But those are really important to us. Now, the trick is we don't have to act on those feelings. Those feelings are information, they're like a sixth sense. They help us kind of interpret the world around us, and it's what we do with that. So as I've been talking to Jack over a period of time, I see some people who are reacting to their anxieties and fears. Maybe, we'll get into this another time, but like the fear of missing out, that's driven by anxiety. And that's something where you gotta be able to interpret it, but manage it and not let it run you, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm hoping to do, guys, is Jack and I are going to do a series of videos and hopefully give you guys a little bit more insight into what emotional intelligence is and how it helps out on things like trading. But again, it helps out in any aspect of your life. If you want to end up, being better in relationships, in sports, in academics, really anything. I mean, you look at someone like Tom Brady, who is, a great quarterback, but there are other quarterbacks who are more athletic, but he's got incredibly high emotional intelligence so that he doesn't crack under pressure. So that's what we're going to be talking about in the next series of videos. So I hope you guys stay tuned. Love you to follow me on Twitter too, Larry Blackwell on Twitter. You're already following Jack and Tim, but we'll talk to you soon.